So you didn't study, and here we are. You just have your final days up to the June SAT. What are you going to do? Well, you've come to the right place. I'm Laura Whitmore. I scored 1590 on the digital SAT, and my tutor team and I specialize in helping students go from the 1300s and 1400s into top 1% scores. So I'm really excited for this video. I'm going to give you guys some quick tips for those last minute crammers out there. If you are last minute cramming and you haven't studied at all, please comment below cram. I swear you guys give me a panic attack, but it's okay. We're going to get through this together. If you have been studying so far, good job. Comment below and flex on that. That's amazing. You might get some shade, but that's all right. I'm glad that you studied. You should be doing that. So if you're not doing that, I won't shame you, but who knows? Maybe we'll be working together this summer. So just keep in mind, we are taking new students. If you don't feel so hot after the June SAT, you can always book a consultation with us at strategictestprep.com. We would love to meet with you. But let's not put bad juju out there, right? Like, let's positive vibes. Let's hope for the best. I really want you guys to go in there and crush it. And that's why I made this video. So let me run through all the last minute tips that I have for you to get ready. I want to start with some practice tips, okay? So what I want you guys to do, tip number one, I want you to take one more timed practice test 2 days before your test. All right, so pick one of the Blue Book tests that you haven't done yet. If you've done all the Blue Book SATs, then do PSAT test 2 and just work on your pacing, like get a feel for how it's going to go and simulate the real testing environment. So don't take unscheduled breaks, literally sit down, do it in one shot. You can even, there's like YouTube videos called test day noises. You can put a YouTube video that plays test day sounds in the background. They're supposed to distract you, like people coughing, pencils, writing. So that's really nice. And just make sure that you do it early in the day if you can, since you've got to take the test early in the morning. But I just want you to simulate one practice test ahead of your test. Why do you want to do that? Because if you run out of time on a module 2, you need to think about, all right, how am I going to change this in the test? It just makes you more prepared and you can make those last minute tweaks before you go in there. Tip number 2, after you take this final practice test, I want you to go through your misses and you need to identify why you missed them. Was it a careless mistake? Or was it a content issue? If it's a careless mistake, you probably need to slow down. So take note of that. If it's a content issue, you need to go back to that type of content or concept and review it. And the question bank for College Board is really good at that, so you can leverage that. Third tip I have for you is go back to old mistakes from previous practice tests you took. So for those of you out there that said you've been studying and you're not last minute cramming, go back, revisit your other practice tests you've done, and just remind yourself of those mistakes. See if you can do them again and get them right, because you want to be able to make the changes now so history doesn't repeat itself in the test. And my fourth practice tip for you is please don't cram the night before. I know it's tempting to stay up till 2, 3 in the morning. That is not going to help you. It will just make you tired on test day and it's going to hurt your performance. So think of it like an athlete, right? Like if you have a big game the next day, are you going to stay up and practice till 2 or 3 in the morning? No, your body is going to be tired. So your brain is a muscle, rest it. I want you to have a cutoff time around 5 or 6 p.m. and that's it. And then go do something relaxing. And just keep in mind what you know at that point is what you know. You're not going to be able to shove a whole bunch of stuff in your head. So just relax and just go in there and show what you know. Now let's talk about test day tricks, because this is the juicy stuff. This is what you guys really come here for. The first tip I have for you is to use majority rules. So I'm actually going to cut to a video that explains how to do that. Okay, this is what you can do if you're running out of time or if you just don't know. It's called majority rules. So when I look at all the answer choices, I notice that this first equation is the same and the first 3, and it's different in D. So I'm going to get rid of D. The next thing that I notice is all of them start with an AX except this one. So C is different. So I'm going to get rid of C. The next thing I notice is that all of them have a plus sign in the second equation except A. So A is different. I'm going to get rid of A. So I'm going to pick B, and the right answer was B. All right. The second tip I have for you is to set up your scrap paper for success. It's called scrap paper management. So what I like to do when I get into the test before it starts is I fold the paper in half 3 times, and it creates these nice little boxes for me. And then I can write the numbers up in the corner if I'm annotating on a question, or if I'm, writing out a math problem on a box. I know where to find stuff, and I can go back to it easily later if I need to. It also just makes me feel more in control and organized, and it can conserve space, because a lot of test centers only give you one piece of paper, and you don't want to waste time asking for more paper when the clock is ticking. My third test day tip and trick is, listen, if you're spending a minute on a math question and you're not getting anywhere, I want you to flag it to come back to. One of the things high flyers do the most, and it kills them on math module 2, is they fight the problem tooth and nail, and they have so much grit and determination. They believe they're going to figure it out, and they spend way too long on a math problem, and they end up running out of time. The question you need to ask yourself in the test is, do I want to die on this hill? And the answer is no. You do not want to die on any hill. So you don't need to win the battle. You just need to win the war. I need you to put that problem down and go pick up more points and come back to it later. You might see it differently later. You're going to have a fresh set of eyes on the question, and sometimes things will just appear and you'll have that aha moment, but you've got to walk away. My fourth test day tip is to, if you're on a comma placement question and you get stuck, pick the answer with the least amount of commas in it. That gives you the highest chance of picking up the point. My fifth test day tip is, on a reading passage, I want you to look for 3 wrong answers instead of 1 right answer. If you're just searching for a right answer, you're probably going to pick a trap answer. So get really critical with each answer choice and try to find something wrong with 3 of them. Sometimes it might just come down to 1 word that's incorrect. So just be ready for that. My sixth tip is, when you're on a graph question, just read the last sentence under the graph. If it starts with a transition, then read the last 2 sentences. But you don't need to read that whole paragraph under the graph. That's designed to waste your time. You also can skip the graph to start. Sometimes you don't even need the graph to answer the question. So read the last sentence or 2, go to the question, and see if you can pick an answer based just off of the text first. Then if you recognize that the answer choices are prompting you to look at the graph because it's giving you data and facts, then go to the graph, okay? My 7th test day tip is to skip to number 27 on the English module 2. You don't need to do it on English module 1. You can if you want to be consistent with it, but I think you should work backwards through the module. The note-taking questions are pretty easy. Transitions aren't too bad. Grammar's not too bad. So if you start at the end, you're going to do the easier stuff first. It's going to warm up your brain, and you're going to hit a rhythm and get some momentum. So you'll be ready once you hit the reading passages. Now, my suggestion is to skip number 15 to number 11 of the reading passages, because those are the hardest. Start at 10, do all those reading passages, and then you're going to hit the vocab questions so you get a nice little break. And then you're going to save the hardest ones for last, because those give you the lowest chance of picking up the point and they take the longest. So that would be my execution recommendation. You're going to want to practice that execution plan first before you go into the test, so there's no surprises. So remember the first tip I said, where I said, hey, practice 1 full test 2 days before the actual test? Try that on that test and see how it goes. Also, comment below. Let me know how it goes. Did you like that strategy, or is there a different execution strategy you like to use instead, like skipping to number 15? All right, number 8, my 8th tip for the test day tips and tricks is, please don't spend more than 20 to 30 seconds on a words and context question. These are the vocab questions at the very beginning of the English modules. I hate to say it, guys, either you know it or you don't. So it's like a time suck. where I've seen students, even the ones that score top scores, they just get so bogged down going between two answer choices. They don't know what either word means. It wastes valuable, precious time. So pick one, stick to it, flag it to come back to, and go gather more points, okay? My 9th tip on test day is to, and actually this might be like a study tip. I think I put this in the wrong section. Please don't, don't criticize me in the comments. I'm doing the best I can out here, everybody. By the way, if you're liking this video so far, make sure you subscribe, because I'm coming out with these free videos to help you guys every week. And I'm trying to get to 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I'm at 85,000. And a lot of you guys don't subscribe. So not to go off on a tangent right now, but if you appreciate what I'm doing and I've helped you in any way, even if it's a small way, it costs you nothing. Please just hit that subscribe button for me. It would mean the world to me. I appreciate you. Let's talk about this 9th tip. We have a high probability vocab list. It's in our English workbook. What we've done is, since we have a tutor taking every single SAT, we're keeping track of what words have shown up, and we're compiling them into a list because words have a tendency to repeat. So you're better off, if vocabulary is your weakness, studying this high probability vocab list instead of studying the Webster dictionary and 20,000 words in there, because the SAT likes to reuse the same types of words. So you can grab our English workbook for free. I basically linked on screen where you can get that, strategictestprep.com/free-SATs-resources. Sorry, I know it's a lot, but that's where you go to get that. You basically just subscribe to our email list and we'll email you a copy of the workbook, and then you can study that before the test. And then my 10th and final tip is to do the warm-up set that we're giving away for free in the parking lot as well. So it's comprised of easy English and math questions, and it just gets your brain moving ahead of the test. So it wakes you up. You start thinking about the concepts, but they're easy. So it's not like cognitively draining to do them. We don't give you the answers on purpose because you can't look up answers when you're in the test. But honestly, they're pretty simple questions where you should be confident in your answers and feeling good and awake and ready to go into the test. So that's also in our free SAT resources. You can grab that as well when you're getting the English workbook. All right, guys, that's it for the last minute tips I have. But I have a bonus tip for you, and this is based on my own experience going into the test. I always score in the 1500s. I caught a high score of 1590. My tutor, Andy, who I trained, has a perfect 1600. All of our tutors score over 1500. I have tried so hard to be perfect that I overthought the questions. I read and reread them. I went back and forth in my answers. I changed answers and second guessed myself. And so I ended up running out of time the very first time I took a digital SAT because honestly, I was trying too hard. So my bonus last minute tip for you is go into this test, relax, take a deep breath, and try to take it like a practice. Don't overthink your answers. Don't reread. Just do it the way you've been doing your practices and just trust your judgment, and you'll get through it a lot more smoothly. If things don't go well on June, don't panic. There's an August test right around the corner, and sometimes summertime is the best time to prep because you don't have school. You don't have extracurriculars, pulling your time and attention away from the SAT. You can put a lot of focus into it. So we are accepting new students for the summer. You can head to our website. I'll link it up here, strategictestprep.com, and request a consultation. We would love to meet with you. We can assess your progress, your goals, and come up with a customized prep plan for you so that you can be our next success story, landing that 1500 plus. Anyways, guys, I wish you the best of luck in the test on Saturday. Go crush it, and I'll see you next time.